with Kingdom Builders Business University. Woo! How are y'all doing today? It is TGIF. It is TGIF, right? So we are coming to you again today with another beautiful graduate. Actually, we have a duo, a couple that is graduating today. So we're going to honor both parties. And let's see, we have Miss Christina Hugie. Woo! All right, Miss Christina. So you came into the Kingdom Builders Business University course. Was it in the fall course originally, right?
Yeah, we did. And Mark and I don't do anything the normal way. We do everything kind of off the cuff. So you so graciously allowed us to come in when the class was already going. And so we kind of got in, midway to the end. And then so we hopped over to this semester and did the first section.
That's right, because when you first came into KBBU, I believe we were starting up the business credit session. So we had already completed business setup.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was that experience like for you all coming in? And by the way, guys, her and her husband, Mark Hugie, both came in at the same time. It was amazing. It was so amazing to have a married couple coming to the course, and both of them have their own businesses. So I'm so excited to share in just a little bit. But go ahead, Christina. How did that feel when you first came in about halfway through?
Oh my gosh, it was so overwhelming because I don't think either of us were quite prepared for the massive amount of information that was going to be in these courses. And I don't know if you remember it or not, but in those first days, I kept sending you messages saying, Michelle, you are not charging enough. Because
yes, I do remember.
Yeah, it's the content is so rich. And even beyond that, our human confetti cheerleader is just always so happy. And you truly rejoice with every step that your students make. And so it just makes you feel so, excited. And then also another thing is, so we're getting all this information, but then there's homework that we're assigned. So then we have to do the homework.
Absolutely. Yeah. And quizzes.
That's right.
Yes, and quizzes. So yes, we do have homework. It is a real business school, and we want to make sure that you're receiving the material. So what would you do in normal school settings? You would have homework and take a test. That's right.
That's right.
Yes. So I figured that it was kind of overwhelming because, yes, you were like, oh, my goodness, we got to hurry up and complete this and complete that. So coming in halfway really didn't do you justice. You needed to start over again. So you guys came into another term, which was the spring-summer semester.
Yes.
And now you are at final graduation. So,
yes.
Yes. That's amazing. But I was so excited when we first met. We hit it off completely. Both of us, like all three of us were like just totally in sync with one another. It was amazing. And y'all had me crying on the phone. You remember that?
I did.
So I was like, okay, this is going to be one of those where they're feeding into me and I'm feeding into them. So that's going to be a beautiful thing. Yes.
Well, and that's also the thing. It's spirit to spirit, and for us, that was something that, you can take business courses. You can take all kinds of different things to get equipped. But the fact that this is kingdom related and everything is based on biblical principles and that part of it, it just added a lot for us because faith is, a very important part to, our lives. And so for us, it was just that added thing, that we were able to connect with you on such an intimate level. We're like, oh yeah, we're totally in.
Yes. Y'all jumped in full force. Y'all really did. So when you came back through, when you actually started the setup, originally we were kind of just going at it, week upon week and trying to get you guys established and everything. But then when you came back through the business setup, what was that like for you all? What did you gain from that?
Honestly, like anyone who is considering, launching into a business, I would say like this is a must, because there's a lot of things that you you just don't know. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, when we were taught in your class about the importance of having an actual established business email address and business
Mm-hmm.
domain and those type things, a business phone number and a business address, you know, at like somebody that didn't own a business prior, I would have thought, what's the big deal? But then once it was explained to us, all of the whys behind it, it actually is just, it's just so important to follow these steps and to take a class like this, because that way you don't end up having to go back and redo things in the future and then clean up a bunch of mess because you've moved and you used your home address, and then now you've got to go and change all your contact information. It's just too much. So yeah, I mean, there was just so much that we learned throughout the entire process that I don't think we would have otherwise learned. But then on top of that, there's a lot of things as someone who's considering starting a business that can be overwhelming, like trying to figure out, like, do you do an LLC or a C Corp? And all those different, entity names can be very intimidating and confusing. And so in the class, it was broken down to such a simplified level that it was very easy to decide, what's the right path for us to take. And so just all of that business setup just business setup alone is worth what you pay for the course.
Wow. Thank you so much, Christina.
Absolutely.
Yes. We want to make sure that you're getting all of it, the contracts, the trademarks, the copyright understanding, whether or not, you would have to get licensed for trademarking, for copywriting, all of that. All of that is definitely things that we need to know as a business owner, but it's not all the time that it's made available to us, and it's not easy to understand if you're not a part of KBBU. I'm serious. Like, even with my process of learning this information to prepare for the school, it's like, it was a lot of different experiences that I had to go through. So I can't imagine someone that's going through some other course, and not to knock anybody and what they're doing, but just to say that, we try to really make sure it's a full package, that you're not getting like just one portion of it. You're getting the whole ordeal, the whole thing.
Absolutely. And I mean, even you mentioned, copyrights and trademarks. I mean, everything, licensing, permits, registrations, like everything you need to know. And then, even, when we went into like, management, business management and marketing and, economy and all of these things where we're learning, I myself have some background in bookkeeping and accounting. And so I have some basic knowledge of some of those things, but even all of that, payroll, accounting, your merchant processing systems, your PCI compliance, all these, acronyms can be so intimidating and scary and confusing. All of that, it was just made very simplified and clear for us. But then also it's one of the things also about the class is it's a reality check too, that this isn't just, you got to be serious. Like if you're wanting to start a business, like, every Joe Blow thinks, oh, I'm starting my own business. But no, there's a lot more involved than just saying that you now are a business owner. Like there's a lot. So yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm so glad that you said that, because that is so true, especially since COVID hit and everybody was like switching jobs, or maybe they left their job or got fired or whatever. Ever since then, it's like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but are you really sure that that is the route that you really want to take? Like in the initial course, we had a young lady that said, hey, you know what? I don't even want to be an entrepreneur anymore. I'm going to go back to being an employee. Honestly, she said
Wow.
that. And even though she pursued her business later on, she realized because of the responsibility of a true entrepreneur, if you're going to do business, you're going to do it right, then you're going to have great responsibility.
That's
You
right.
know, so you're graduating from dependent on someone else to now you are independent, and then you grow to interdependence so that you bring in more people that now you're responsible for. So it is a really great responsibility for us to really be the true entrepreneur that we need to be.
That's
Yes.
right. And it is a weight that you have to make sure that you're ready for.
Yes, yes, yes. So we try to prepare you for that. If you're thinking
That's right.
about coming into Kingdom Builders Business University, we have registration that starts on August the 24th. And on August the 24th, we're not going to do a full 6 months this time for this semester course. It's actually going to be just 4 months. So we're going to cram in a lot more within that time period. So, Christina, can you imagine what that's getting ready to be like?
No, I'm so glad mine was stretched out because I was like, I don't even know if I can make it.
Oh my goodness. I
It's a
know
lot of information.
it is. It's a lot of information. And even if you're taking, we do offer the one-on-one strategy sessions. If you didn't want to come to class, that is a separate type of service, but it's just basically we're going to go through the same material, but we're just going one-on-one. You'll be coaching with me and some of the other coaches, and that's it. But you won't actually enter the classroom. So those are what we call the 12-week strategy sessions. We do have a few students that have taken that while y'all were preparing to graduate, Christina, and it's been really interesting to see the difference between someone who comes to class versus someone who is trying to do it, just with the one-on-one strategy sessions. And I will say that hands down, the classes are where you really want to be.
Absolutely. And then even also, something that, as you said that about having opportunity to speak with the other coaches, the other benefit to being in the class is you get it all. So it's like we have Michelle, we have live classes, we have online materials that we can go watch videos and this and that, and then we have our times where we get to do question and answers in the live classes. And then also, one of the things that was so enjoyable was getting those additional coaches, like Miss Nakia Nesbitt, when you brought her in to talk about marketing and all that the wealth of knowledge that she carries with that. It's such a benefit to get all those additional resources too, and develop relationships with these just additional people just these powerhouse people that are doing it. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was one of the original ideas because I truly believe in sharing the wealth. And we want to make sure that, not just my perspective, but professional perspectives. Because if there's an area that I feel like I'm not supposed to be, providing any teaching on, then I'm going to bring in the professional. I'm not going to try to do it myself because I know I can't do everything. That's one thing that I'm very clear on. Stay in my lane. Okay.
Yes.
Stay in my lane.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yes, and I even enjoy, I pull from those coaches too. So I'm so grateful for Nakia Nesbitt, Jasmine Alexander,
Yeah.
Alvin Haley Jr., all of the people that we've had to come in and speak in our classes. We're just really grateful for the input that you bring to the courses. And also, you were saying about actually you were talking about business management, you were talking about business marketing. And what about business credit? What did you gain from that?
Oh goodness. There's a lot involved in that. I remember you talked, I've got some notes here because I'm like, this is a lot to remember. But we touched on in business credit. There was the thing I would say I got the most out of was just all the different funding options that are available. There's so many that I didn't even know about. Investors, venture capitalists, crowdfunding, peer-to-peer, and then angel investors. All of these types things were, all discussed in depth in the class, just so that as business owners, because that's obviously one of the biggest challenges of being a business owner in the beginning, it's that startup capital.
Yes.
So for us to learn about, business credit being so different from personal credit, and how it's very, very different, and having to establish your DUNS number and all that's involved with establishing business credit. There was a lot of helpful information in there.
Oh, I appreciate that. That's great. That's great. Awesome. So let's talk about what you actually achieved from coming through the KBBU course twice.
Yes, yes. So I will talk about the thing that I'm most excited about in a second, but I will say that one thing that was established is Kingdom Web and Designs, and that is the reason why it's called Kingdom Web and Designs is because, anybody can create a website. Well, not anybody, but you can these days. There's a lot of platforms out there where you can create your own websites. However, you're not necessarily going to get a professional look, and you're not necessarily going to get a product that actually functions properly. And so the reason I called it Kingdom Web is because my ideal client would be ministries and ministers and nonprofits, or even just entrepreneurs that are believers, because I really, my heart is to help other believers achieve their goals and walk out their calling, whatever that looks like. But then also my husband, he started On the Mark Transport, which is a trucking company. He's been a truck driver for many, many, many years. But to actually, begin to establish his own authority and begin, going that direction, it's a really big, big step for us. So that was a second business that came out of KBBU. And lastly is Kingdom Bridges Network, and that is our baby. There have been countless numbers of labor hours put into designing the website and the functionality of it, and even just the prayer and ministry involved with just really getting the vision from the Lord. So what is Kingdom Bridges Network? It is a network of ministers and ministries from around the nation, and the whole goal is to connect us to each other, because like for us, when we moved to Charleston from Charlotte, we the first thing as a believer, you're like, okay, where are God's people? You want to connect with your brothers and sisters, and you want to find those places. And as most people know, there's you can get some duds when you go visiting some places, and it just doesn't really fit what you're looking for. And so our goal is to just connect kingdom-minded, kingdom-based ministries. There's a map on there, and it's all in progress. We're adding things consistently. But so, example, if you go to the Charleston map and you zoom in, there are just dots everywhere of ministries and churches and worship nights and just different places you can get involved in. But another feature that is so great is we have it to where our members can actually post their own blogs, their own content, their own podcasts, their own just all kinds of discipleship and business materials. And we are working on creating a marketplace where the same members can also begin to sell their own products. So
that is huge.
It's just again, it's a platform to spread the gospel and to network us all together. And then also, like if you're looking for someone who can help you fix your credit, then we will have a services section where, for example, a credit repair company could advertise that on there, and then as people visit the site, they can also be connected to resources. So
awesome. That is so huge. So it's like a big networking platform
Yes.
internally for the
Yes.
kingdom. I
Yes.
love that. I
Yes.
love that so much. So that is
Yes.
great. I am
Yes.
already a member, by the way. I don't know if you checked up on me, but I
Oh, I
definitely
did.
joined. And I'm going to be sharing with all of our students and all of my connections. So you're going to be busy for a little while.
Yes, oh, my head is spinning already. Just there's so many steps. So it is a work in progress. We are working on all the terms and conditions and all the extras and all that. But, we're just so excited that it's actually up and running. It's functioning well. When for those who visit the website, which is, by the way, www.kingdombn, like bridgesnetwork.com. We are making changes literally daily. So if you go out and you're not seeing something, shoot us a little message or something. Say, hey, what about such and such? So we are constantly updating and getting new members daily.
Yay! Woo! That is so beautiful. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. So Christina, you were saying that you have 3 businesses. So people can contact you if they want to do a website. How would they contact you?
Well, the best way for that would be via email. My email for Kingdom Web and Designs is admin@KWAND, like ANDD, kingdomwebanddesigns.com.
Okay.
And then, that would be the ideal way to reach me. Yes.
Okay, good. So they can reach out to you if they're interested in doing a Kingdom Web Design.
Yes.
Through Kingdom Web and Design business.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Awesome. So if anyone's interested, hey, hit up Miss Christina. She gave you the email address. Definitely reach out to her and get your website going. And we can also share that within our KBBU course, with the students, because we will be establishing websites and all that as we go through the entire course. So that's amazing. And then for Mark, your husband, he has a trucking logistics business. So if there are any commercial businesses that would like to be contracted for transportation services, can you provide his information? Do you have that available?
Absolutely. I can give you his email, which is admin@otmtllc.com. And the OTMT stands for On the Mark Transport LLC.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so he's also going to, be looking for additional drivers to contract on. So that would be also not just the vendors that are looking for transportation of their products, but then also drivers. He's going to need some more because we are expanding.
All right, now that's what I'm talking about. That's all what it's about: growing and changing, and shifting and moving into that arena where God has really called us to be. That's right. It. That's right. So true. Yes. Okay. And then for Kingdom Bridges Network, they can get in contact with you through the email.
Yeah, you can do email, which is admin@kingdombn, like bridgesnetwork.com. And then you can also reach me on the web at www.kingdombn.com. And I also have a business phone number, and let's see if I can remember it. This is one of our things Michelle said we need to have this stuff locked in. It's 855-5KBN LLC.
She did it, y'all! She did it! I love it. So we are going to make sure that everyone reaches out to you and gets connected as a member, because what she's saying, guys, is that you can actually advertise your own company within her organization. And that way you'll be able to collaborate with people from all walks of life, with all different types of businesses. And it's a kingdom platform. You can't get any better than that. I'm serious. Like, that is amazing. That is so big. And then to be able to, if you're looking for a organization, to where you can go and worship and have church service, then she has that available for you as well. I know many of us, since COVID happened, kind of stopped going to church. We just kind of like sit at home and maybe pick and choose which one we're going to watch this Sunday. So
Yeah.
when it comes to that, we could actually come to your website and find a church location that is kingdom oriented, that's going to really preach the word, teach us something so that we can properly be fed. So I love that, because that's something. When I made the transition from Greenville to Columbia, South Carolina, that's an hour and a half drive one way. So I was actually driving back to my church in Greenville for I would say about 5 years. Seriously, it was crazy.
Wow.
It might have been
Wow.
longer than that. I haven't even counted it up, actually. This is my first time thinking about it. But I did drive back and forth for many, many years. And then all of a sudden, COVID happened. And then, I had to try to figure out, where am I going to go to church here if I go to church here? You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it was hard. It's hard to make that transition if you are really trying to find a place that that you're going to be fed. Yes.
Yep, that's right. And but with that being said, if that there are some really great churches out there, we're always, looking for recommendations, around the nation. Obviously, at some point I was limited to just the ones that come across my path, but that's the
Mm-hmm.
whole reason for collaborating and networking with other kingdom-minded people, because, that's obviously, one person can't do it all. So we need each other.
Right. Yes, we do. That's why it's called the kingdom, because we're all one big family.
That's
I love
right.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, congratulations. You have completed your final quiz. You and Mark, I'm going to give him credit too, because you mentioned his business and everything. So congratulations to both Mark and Christina Hugie for completing the 22-week KBBU semester course. Yes, 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 yes. You did it. You did it. So we do have some surprises for you guys. We will be sending out a package unless you want to meet in person, but we'll talk after this live. We do have a t-shirt for you, so I'll get your t-shirt sizes so y'all can advertise, what y'all have achieved through Kingdom Builders Business University. And lastly will be your certification. So we will definitely send you our frame certificate for completing the KBBU courses. So congratulations.
Thank you for
You're,
everything.
you're
All the
welcome.
prayers, the prayer
Yes.
coverage, everything.
Yes, yes, you did it. You did it. So thank you all for watching today. If you are interested in coming into KBBU, you can reach us at our website is www.kbbulllc.com, or you can give us a call at 855-522-8552, or email us at info@kbbulllc.com. And also, guys, I keep forgetting to say this every time we have a graduate. Definitely connect with us on all our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and every handle is kb.michellegreen. kb.michellegreen. You can hit us up on any of those platforms socially, and we'll be glad to connect with you and collaborate. Collaborate business credit or personal credit, all of it, the whole nine. We'll just be glad to have you. All right. Thank you. And until next time, Christina, are you good? You got anything else? You good? All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys. Y'all take care.